Hi, Davi here, and today we have a new episode in the art session series. And today we're going to be doing a voiceover of this sketch doodle I did. And I often do these random doodles where I try to start off with some random brushstrokes, and then I see what I can make, create from that sort of chaos or randomness. It doesn't always turn out well, but I feel like I need to do it to sort of engage a different side of my mind, because if I always have reference, it's great, and thankfully I've been learning how to not totally copy the reference, meaning I know how to pick and choose which part I sort of play around more with. So I've been getting good at that, and I think I'm making progress in terms of just because I have a habit in the past of like whenever I would have reference, I would like copy it 1:1. But I think it has been, I think it's because I'm just practicing. Like I just use it more often, and I think I'm getting used to just not being so attached to the reference. But as much as I'm improving there, I think I still need to. I can't not work on stuff like these where it's just me painting a bunch of random stuff. And it's not like I know what I'm painting. And oftentimes, even in the end, I mean, yeah, definitely in the beginning, I have no idea what to paint. But even in the end, I'm still not sure what the thing is. So sometimes whenever I hear or read comments asking about like, what is that thing you're trying to paint? You tell me, because I don't know. Well, for this specific piece, it kind of looks like a squid, because I think the head reminds me of the sort of fins of a squid. So maybe the armor is inspired by like a squid, like it's an aquatic armor sort of thing. Who knows? And it's basically a suit, or it could be an alien. Maybe it's a head. But what's cool here is it could be anything, right? It could even be a building, a ship. Who knows? And that's the cool thing when you start or when you approach painting this way. Like when you chase shapes or interesting shapes, what comes out of it could be anything, because if the shapes are sort of in this like if they're set up where the relationship of each shape kind of is interesting, like it feels aesthetically pleasing, or it just seems to fit the other shapes around it. It can generate some kind of focus or interest, which it's basically like an open template where if you add like certain textures on it, it could be like a skin. If you add like skin, some kind of metal texture, like it could go from like a full-on alien to like a mecha or some kind of machine. Like you won't really know, or like it has so many, like it can become so many things, because the shape, like the base shape design or the shape relationship is already interesting to begin with. So I think that's what I'm doing whenever I do these. It's just me chasing and finding interesting shapes. So when I build random strokes, it's not like every stroke I make from that point, from the beginning, randomness is also random. As I push through the painting, it does like more detail and more deliberateness is there. And even though there's nothing really specific about it, but it does get a bit tight as I push through the painting, meaning I clean up the edges, I define where the shape begins, where it ends, and stuff like that. So it's an interesting process. But again, what comes out of it, I think for this batch, I had like 10, and I think only 5. I think I'm going to put out 5. If you want to see the full, or the other 5 that did not make it, you could check out the membership in the sketchbook pages. But I think I'll feature 5 paintings or doodles that seems somewhat interesting to me. And what's cool is not all of these paintings last for a while. I think for the studies I did in the previous episodes, I think they took a lot longer. Like these ones were actually kind of quick, and that's why I like doing them. It's because it's quick. Like I don't have to invest so much time when doing these, and I think that's why people like sketching, because it's fun. whether it's, you know, with lines or with paint, there's sort of an energy there which I think you can't really have, obviously, when you're doing like a longer session, because yeah, there's a level of thinking when you have a longer session which may be too much for a dummy like you. I'm kidding, for a dummy like me. It's just too much pressure. Like once in a while, sure, here and there, fine, but every day or every single moment, you gotta have sketches, bro, because it's fun. And I think for paintings like these, it would be fun to use like the mixer brush. I've used them before because it kind of adds a bit of chaos, extra chaos. But I think for this specific like doodle or painting, I just stuck to like a flat brush, and it did have more of that opaque kind of look to it. So I think it could experiment between a brush that has more opacity, where you can build up shapes and such stroke by stroke, meaning you layer different strokes on top of one another, and you can see the strokes you've done, you've made, you've added beforehand. And then it's good to paint stuff in this way where it's a bit more opaque. I mean, yeah, in the edges you can see a bit of opacity, but it's sort of not really this. It's not the same thing. Like the core of the stroke is very heavy, and you get this sort of opaque look. Now, all I did was add a bit of texture to give it that sort of natural look. But yeah, and I do recommend, if you have a flat brush, might as well have pen tilt turned on, only because it looks cool. Flat brushes look cool when they can like switch position here and there, or when they're used in this sort of pen tilt mode. You can use, I think in Photoshop it's called initial direction. I mean, well, there's pen tilt, but there's also initial direction. I think in XPPen right now, or with the program I'm using, XPPen, it's set at pen tilt. And also when I paint, I just select the background color, and I use that to erase or clean up the edges. You could use an eraser. I don't do that because I'm kind of lazy, and it's more of a habit thing. Like, I'm just used to painting over stuff this way, or erasing the stuff. I don't even think of erasing. I just think of painting over my mistakes, which kind of shows you my background. I'm just more of a painter, I guess, than a drawer. I mean, I can draw, cope a little bit, but I think that's what I started with, and then over time I transitioned. I think once I started shading in pencil, that's when I unlocked, like, because when you shade, obviously you're trying to understand values, right? And then from there, I think it was an easy transition into painting. You know, when you're thinking about shapes, values, mainly values, and how you can define or suggest edges by just changing how something is light, how something is dark, and adding contrast, you know. And I think when you paint, you just understand negative shapes more, because you can suggest an edge without, like, you're used to suggesting edges without using a line. Although I have seen painters, and I think you can see a little bit of me doing that in this doodle, where I would add some lines, but they're sort of done after or during or after, or in the end of the as I'm painting. It's not like done beforehand, because there's an approach out there where you do the rough sketch first, and then the final line art, and then you paint sort of under the lines a bit, and then maybe you use you lock the pixels of the line layer, and then you paint over the original line color. I mean, you could do that, or I've seen people do this, artists do this, where in the final illustration or painting or sketch, there is line art, but it's not the original. Like, there is no original line art. It's added along the way, or sometimes it's just in the end of the painting process. So it's like, I call it like a pseudo line art, because it's not done in a typical way. It's sort of a pseudo, meaning it's kinda ish. It's weird, or it's just pseudo, right? Meaning it's kind of fake, but it's real, but it's not. It's just not done in the typical expected way. But let me drink some coffee. But yeah, even if your doodles or paintings don't end up anywhere, to me, if the shapes are cool, this is just how I do it. If the shapes are cool, then it's cool. even if I don't know what it is, I can always revisit the painting or the sketch later on and decide to work on it more. But as it is, I think it's a cool looking thing. And when it comes to colors, just pick one, and then if you want to start getting used to painting with colors, paint analogously, right? So select one color and then just pick colors sort of beside that. I mean, you can change the values, sure, but aside from changing the values, which is obvious, if you want to add some hue variety, just go for analogous colors first. Basically, colors or hues that are beside or close to the main color or hue you're using. And I think once you get used to that, it's easier to add more colors. And I think in a way you sort of naturally learn how not to overdo like the values, because or the saturation even, because sometimes if you add, because it can be tempting, like the more you add colors, you want to make it like super bright, but as you keep painting, you will realize how your painting is looking a bit too like just bright or too saturated. So I think your eye will naturally develop this need to be a bit more conservative with the colors, and then over time, if you decide to, then you can add more saturated, brighter stuff. But I think with this sort of, you just need to practice. You need to show up when it comes to painting, so your eye can see and have the opportunity, I guess, to sort of have moments where it can judge hues that you've made or colors that you made, because judging someone's artwork is very different from judging your artwork and your colors, right? So maybe that's why doing these types of quick paintings is really good, because you can sort of learn. It shows like a glimpse of what you would typically do anyway, so you can learn fast and learn from your mistakes a lot faster, and you don't have to invest so much time, right? So even with sketches like these or quick paintings like these, you will kind of realize like you can learn so many things, like color, learning how not to overdo it, learning how to sculpt shapes or form with shapes, learning how to play with values. I mean, just look at how aside from the black, because I think I used the black there, my darkest value is like brown, aside from the black, and look at how it can elevate and just add more form to these like random shapes or random strokes. So you can practice all that with simple quick sessions like these. So I think I'm going to end the overview or voiceover for this doodle, and if you want the brushes, check the link below for the Gumroad. If you haven't, check out my Patreon, and yes, please like and subscribe. So I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.